every day. Lord, we're reminded that each and every day is a gift, as our superintendent always tells us. Father, I just pray that you be with our time tonight. Father, help us as we discuss and deliberate over the business of our district, over the business of our community. God, help us just to have wisdom as we make decisions. And help us, Father, just to always bring honor and glory. Just thank you for all of our staff, for all of our students, God. Just thank you for this wonderful district that we get to be a part of. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Freeport Middle School, and Freeport Intermediate for receiving the award of being a National Model PLC School. Tonight, we are celebrating because we are now being awarded as a National Model PLC District. At this time, I would like to invite Claire Davis, Chief Academic Improvement Officer, to introduce our guest from Solution Tree.
Thank you, Carla. Good evening, board members, Mr. Massey, and our audience. First, I'd like to take you back 6 years ago to D7 on the night of November the 10th, 2015, during a board workshop. Some of you may well remember that you were introduced to the concept of professional learning communities. From this point, you, as school board members, begin to support our work in transforming our schools to become places where children learn at high levels, where teachers and leaders thrive in a culture of collaboration while holding us accountable for a relentless focus on results. As a board, you supported our work and helped us lead the way for becoming a professional learning community. Our principals and teachers continue leading the way to sustain the momentum around growing our PLC practices. We allocate our resources to engage in district-wide professional development to grow our principals and teachers in PLC best practices. We provide schools with tools to focus their collaborative efforts on student achievement to ensure that the best instruction is provided to all students. Additionally, we celebrate the work of our teachers and the accomplishments of our students throughout the year. Solution Tree has a rigorous application process in order to be considered for this honor, and we have so much to showcase due to the incredible work in each campus in BISD. Representatives from Solution Tree are here tonight to recognize the outstanding work of all of our schools. We are honored to have all the way from Austin, Texas, Darren Grissom, who's our state executive director, who's driven from Austin, and Jennifer Ivey, who drove from Cyprus. She's the Director of Educational Partnerships from Solution Tree to present the award this evening to our district. Please welcome Darren and Jennifer.
Good evening, Mr. Massey, Board of Trustees. We are honored to be here this evening to help recognize the commitment of your school leaders and faculty to to ensure the academic success of every single child here at BISD. As a State Executive Director for Solution Tree, I have the honor and privilege of seeing education in action all across the state in every corner you can imagine. Brazosport has some of the very best, and Superintendent Massey, his cabinet members, student-focused principals, and dedicated educators who understand that all means all when engaging students in meaningful learning. Joining me in tonight's presentation, I'm going to come back in a bit, but right now is Jennifer Ivey, my colleague. She's worked very closely with the ISD leaders to support your PLCs, and she presented the awards earlier this year to your individual campuses as well.
Thank you. As Clara has mentioned, BISD has had 4 campuses achieve model PLC school status, and I have observed over the years how BISD schools have had a laser focus on student achievement. Oh, and they've created dedicated intervention and enrichment times in their master schedules. They've created structures that highlight best teaching practices and are experts in disaggregating data, not for judgment, but for retooling to ensure students' mastery of concepts. Their PLC collaboration times focus not only on data, but are an avenue for sharing best practices. No matter the years of experience that teachers have, from being a first-year teacher to a seasoned veteran teacher, they feel supported by their campus teams and the district's teams. From co-teaching models, implementing school model classrooms, and securing additional resources to not only support academic needs, but social and emotional needs for their students as well. They continue to focus on results and student outcomes. All of this has resulted in moving the district from labels such as improvement required to numerous awards, distinctions, and model practices for others to emulate.
And last but not least, Brazosport ISD has demonstrated the very highest level of student support across the entire district by implementing highly effective PLC and work concepts. The journey began back in 2015 with building a new culture of achievement and positive results. Quality instruction, relevant coaching, chartered a course that has allowed more and more BISD students to demonstrate mastery in core subject areas. From pre-K to high school, your students have benefited from your belief that every student deserves a quality education. It's important to note that there are only a few dozen model districts throughout the entire country. And Brazosport ISD is only the second district currently recognized as a PLC district here in Texas. There are many tough choices that you must make in allocating time and resources of BISD families and schools. But rest assured that your support of choosing outstanding educators and putting them in high-impact PLCs has made a direct positive impact on your students. One side note to share is this morning I had an experience, and it made me think of excellent leaders all across the state, and one of those was Clara here at Brazosport. I was participating in the TASA conference this morning with Simon Sinek, and the message there was all about that education was an infinite game. It's not something you win. It's the idea that the constant reach for excellence is what can set us apart. This award speaks to the visionary, infinite leadership of your district. Congratulations.
by Allison Hasso, Coordinator of Guidance and Counseling, and she will be recognizing 2 outstanding community leaders, as well as some other wonderful volunteers. Allison.
Good evening. BISD created the Extra Mile Award several years ago to recognize individuals or groups for their dedication to students and their willingness to go the extra mile for BISD. Tonight, we would like to present the Extra Mile Award to several individuals with the Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive. The Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive originated in 2004 when Natalie, a Brazos graduate, began collecting toys in conjunction with a beauty pageant during the Lake Jackson Festival of Lights. Natalie's goal was to bring joy to the deserving children of Brazoria County during the Christmas season. After she passed away, pageant contestants carried on the toy drive in her memory. After the pageant came to an end in 2011, a group of Natalie's friends decided to continue the tradition. They are now a nonprofit organization that hosts an annual toy drive in memory of their friend. This year, with the ongoing pandemic, the Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive looked quite a bit different than it has in past years. Rather than canceling the fundraiser event altogether, the committee decided to think outside the box to find a way to still be able to raise funds to help make the holiday brighter for families in Brazoria County. On December 5th, 2020, the Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive hosted its first ever golf tournament. This allowed the group to raise funds and generously donate $20,500 to the Brazosport ISD Education Foundation to be used to provide Christmas gifts to students enrolled in BISD. As a result of the donation, gifts and clothing items were purchased for 205 students in BISD. Additionally, the Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive contributed $5,000 to the BISD Nutrition's Pancakes with Santa event, which you will hear more about in just a few minutes. Tonight, we would like to present the Extra Mile Award to several individuals from Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive. If you don't mind coming up to the front. First is Josie LaChance, one of Natalie's high school friends and founder of the Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive nonprofit, for continuing to think of ways to impact our community even when faced with challenges presented by the pandemic. Kara Weathers has been described as the heart of the Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive. She coordinates and plans for all of the team's meetings, follows up with all sponsors of the event, and organizes the auction items. Amanda Bowen was able to take the toy drive to a new level this year with her great ideas. One such idea was the ball drop round. Amanda runs the toy drive's website and does the marketing and designs as well. Lindsay Woodfield is an original toy drive volunteer. She's been with the toy drive every year since the beginning. She not only volunteers her time, she also sponsors the toy drive herself and gathers auction items. Lindsay's whole family plays a role in the success of the toy drive. Brittany Figaro, who is unable to be here tonight, arranged and graciously met each of the BISD campuses for their chosen shopping time at Walmart during the busy holiday shopping season. Ladies, thank you all so very much for your continuing support of the students and family of Brazosport ISD. We greatly appreciate it.
Our next recognition will be presented by Rachel Arthur, Director of Child Nutrition, to recognize one of our outstanding child nutrition team members.
It is my privilege to recognize an amazing person tonight. Esther Olivares is being recognized for her outstanding efforts Although hosted at Freeport Intermediate School, it included BISD students from all of our campuses. They were identified by our counselors, and along with their siblings, our count included over 160 children benefiting from this special event. Esther's efforts included contacting each family to find out the needs and likes of each child, overseeing the production of a delicious to-go pancake breakfast, and presenting each child with 4 to 5 personalized gifts. I must also add that it was a family affair when it came to wrapping and sorting each gift with love and care, especially by Esther's sweet mom, Rachel Hernandez. To make the event possible, and she's done it all for years, and every gift has a name on it. It's awesome. To make the event possible, Esther secured over $12,500 in donations from various businesses and individuals in the Brazosport community. Her largest donations were from Spin Master and, as Allison noted, the Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive Foundation in the awesome amount of $5,000. Thank you. Many other individuals generously gave without hesitation, including some of our very own employees and board members here tonight. Because of Esther's heart of service and love for our students, many of our BISD students felt the spirit of the holidays in the most loving way. BISD wishes to thank Esther Oliveras for going the extra mile for our students and community.
We believe everyone is accountable find purpose through connections with their schools. And we believe collaborative partnerships are vital to strengthening the learning experience. We value and support the contributions of our staff. And whereas the Brazos Board of Trustees navigate carefully and work closely with parents, educational professionals, and other community members to ensure that BISD will provide a rigorous and relevant learning experience to ensure that every student will be future ready. BISD's learning environments will be safe and conducive to learning. BISD will promote, communicate, and market the accomplishments, achievements, and successes of students and staff. BISD will exercise fiscal responsibility to ensure financial strength and provide the resources to equip and maintain quality education facilities and educational programming. BISD will recruit, develop, and retain highly effective staff. And whereas the Brazos Board of Trustees are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of BISD to our community and the public's expectations to the district. And whereas the Brazos Board of Trustees work tirelessly to navigate our path to success through smooth seas and through turbulent waters, where from here, anything is possible. Now, therefore, Superintendent Massey does hereby declare his appreciation to the members of the Brazos Independent School District's Board of Trustees and proclaim the month of January 2021 as Board Recognition Month in Brazos. As Mr. Massey, I urge all BISD parents, students, staff, community members to join me in recognizing the dedication and hard work of our Board of Trustees. In official recognition whereof, I hereby affix my signature this 25th day of January 2021. Danny Massey, BISD Superintendent of Schools. And I have to tell you, we all appreciate everything you do. And at this time, we have a little video from Brazos High School showing how much they appreciate it.
I want to send a shout out to our school board. I appreciate them so much. I appreciate the incentives that they've given us. I appreciate just believing in us as teachers and helping BISD a special place to work.
This is Mr. Bear, Assistant Principal at Brazos High School. I just want to say thank you to our school board for everything that you're doing for us, all the support that you're giving us as administrators and all of our teachers and all of our schools. You guys are the best. This is a great place to go. Thank you.
Thank you to our board for everything that they do for our students and for the teachers and just to make BISD the best place to work. We appreciate you all.
Thank you, BISD board, for allowing me to work here and taking care of us. Thank you so much.
We just want to say thank you to the board for always supporting our students and our staff. We're very lucky and we have a group of dedicated individuals that support our district and work continuously to improve it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brazos Independent School District School Board. We appreciate everything you do for our students. And remember, it's a great year to be a Buccaneer. Thank you for all your time and effort that you put into our school.
Thank you for all you do for the school. We appreciate you.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emma Little. I'm Senior Board President of Brazos High School.
Hi, I'm Cassie Maker, Senior Class Vice President.
Hi, I'm Megan Shorter, Senior Class Secretary.
We just want to make y'all a short video just to tell how much Brazos staff and students appreciate all you do for us.
Thank you.
And around the room, you will see some mementos of appreciation from our schools. I want to direct your attention to your tabletops. You have a floral arrangement and a charcuterie board. in that box is charcuterie from Rasmusport High School CTE. And I wanted to definitely point that out, that the board was made by the wood part of CTE. The floral designs came from the floral department at Rasmusport High School. And culinary worked on the food as well. And they just wanted to tell you how much they appreciate you. Also, in acknowledgement for what you do for students and staff at the ISD, a copy of your favorite book will be placed in an age-appropriate library in our schools. If you will look on your tabletop and underneath the manila folder, you will see the book that has been put in libraries with your name, the sheet paper. And each of you have a different book. If it's an elementary book, all of our elementary campuses will receive a copy of that book. If it's a secondary book, all secondary campuses will receive a copy of it. The nameplates will read, in honor of your name, for your service as a BISD board member to support the children and staff of Rasmusport Independent School District, January 25th, 2021. Thank you, Rasmusport ISD Board of Trustees, for advocating for all school children in the Rasmusport community. We are grateful for your service. This does conclude our awards and recognitions, but I hope to be back in February with more examples of BISD setting the standard for educational excellence across the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. At this time, in accordance with the local board will provide an audience with individuals who have signed up prior to the meeting to address the board and do not have any requests to address the board. So we'll move on to our next agenda item. The next thing we have on our agenda is our consent agenda. Are there any items that are requested to be pulled from the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, then do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Scott, seconded by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by nay. All right, that carries. The next item then that we have will be our action items. Public comments will be allowed before a vote is taken on each of the action items. The first that we have tonight is action item 7.1, the Texas College Bridge.
Good evening. In accordance with Board Policy EH Local and EIC Local and BISD Goal, Rasmusport ISD will provide a rigorous and relevant learning experience to ensure that every student will be future ready. I am pleased to present a new and free opportunity for our high school campuses. We'll start by checking out this video.
This economy runs on Texas talent. That's why it's so important today's students have access to the education and training they need to enter tomorrow's job market. Over the next decade, nearly all the new jobs created will require a 2- or 4-year degree or certificate. The good news is that preparing for college just got easier. As part of Texas Home Learning 3.0, the Texas Education Agency has teamed up with the Commit Partnership, Higher Education Partners, and Technology Partners, the NROC Project, and Greenlight to create Texas College Bridge. As a component of Texas Home Learning 3.0, Texas College Bridge allows students to take free online college preparation courses in English and math. Most importantly, students work on their own individualized study plan, focusing on the skills they need to build and skipping those they have already mastered.
Pre-assessment was very challenging, to be honest. But it was good to let me know what I needed help in. I really do love how it's self-paced. Since I personally don't have much free time because I work a lot, I love how you got me on track.
While students are self-paced, they have support along the way. Teacher facilitators help with challenging content, encourage course progression, and provide resources.
They kept the schedule for you, they had schedules sent to us, and when everything was due, you could talk to your teachers about certain deadlines and stuff, but really give us a whole schedule and everything was just specific.
And with college and career support, students have access to resources that guide them through the college application process step by step. Everything from financial aid to resume support. When students successfully complete the course, they receive a certificate of completion that is automatically added to their Green Light Locker profile. As they enroll in college, they can electronically send the certificate from their Green Light Locker to the college of their choice. Districts can offer their eligible high school seniors multiple opportunities throughout the year to take Texas College Bridge. Plus, TEA has purchased MROC and Ready licenses, allowing Texas school districts to participate at no cost through June 2022. Once successfully completed, students can enroll directly into college courses in one of the many colleges that have partnered with the Texas College Bridge.
This comprehensive platform prepares students for college-level work. If we have an avenue to help our students reach their end goals faster, then why not try it?
The Texas College Bridge program is redefining personalized learning through the power of technology. Help accelerate your students' college and career success. Join the Texas College Bridge from Texas on Learning 3.0. Simply go to texascollegebridge.org to sign the partnership agreement.
Tonight I want to talk a little bit more about what exactly is Texas College Bridge and share a few things with you. Texas College Bridge is a user-friendly platform, as they shared, that provides individualized support to help 11th and 12th grade students strengthen their math and English skills prior to enrolling in college. Students receive additional college support to help them complete college transition milestones. Plus, they can earn a TSI exemption at participating higher education institutes. These college prep courses in math and English are self-paced, online, and facilitated by a local teacher. They earn high school credit and allow students to achieve the college, career, and military readiness indicators. Brazos Support College, our own local junior college, just recently signed on as an institution supporting this program, as have other colleges and universities that are mentioned on this slide. We anticipate using this program in two different ways. First would be as an on-demand course with support from a local ELA or math teacher. Once the course is completed, it would be transcribed as pass-fail only and would not be counted in the student's GPA for the on-demand course. The other method would be utilized as a resource in our existing college prep math and ELA courses that follow a traditional calendar and traditional grading. At this time, the administration recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the Texas College Bridge program as presented, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions from the board? Mr. Schwartner? How does funding for it change after 2022?
So after 2022, we have to reevaluate. There is hope that the legislature will appropriate funding for this again in the future, so there won't be a worry. I know that many other districts in the state of Texas are finding this quite useful and hopefully will be successful in the initiative the state continues. However, I believe, I might be a little off on the dollar amount, but I believe they communicate to us it's about $12 to $15 per student should we want to find it successful and want to continue it past June 2022. So we'll have the rest of this year, this summer, and the next school year.
I assume most students take the test first and they get this, or how?
So that's a great question. So we do provide to our students the SAT at free of charge. So most students end up taking the SAT. Many students are TSI exempt from taking the SAT. Some students are not. Maybe they need math or maybe they need English. They can, regardless of whether or not they take the TSI test. The TSI test might be the easiest route. Go and take that, see how you do. And if you don't do as well as you want to on it, then this course is a great option for you. Or you could choose to take this course. It counts as a senior level English or a senior level math for graduation requirements. So having both options we already have the in-person The traditional version that follows calendar, we've had that for several years. We just haven't used this resource yet. But then the independent version that this resource provides would be brand new for our campuses.
Most colleges have now waived the SAT or ACT as rather than call it the
No, they have not. There's legislation in the state of Texas that requires them to be TSI ready. Great questions.
Any other questions?
Sure.
So when will they take these courses, or when will they do this thing? Is it going to be in the class, or is it going to be outside school time, or what's the plan?
So that's a great question. So the on-demand version, we hope to be able to launch this next month. I have a meeting tomorrow actually with a couple of people from the high school so that they can kind of get the ball rolling on identifying the students that they want to participate and go from there. The students, if they have time in their schedule, can participate in a computer lab. We have courses where kids are able to work on courses in a computer lab, and they can choose to do that, or they can work independently from home. The great thing about this is it provides flexibility for students. It's meant for whether students are remote, or they're in person, whether they have time in their schedule for this or not. Right now, I believe the high schools are really looking at a very small group of students to launch this with at first, to kind of get a feel for how it works for them and how successful it may be.
How many different sections or courses or chapters, or is it just one big course and you take the test, or is it well, it's got to be two different for math and English, but
right. So
are there how many parts make up the math?
So that's a great question. They would tell you that there are two big parts, and of course they're broken into smaller parts and different items that are within there. But the way that this system works is they actually get every student a pretest, and depending on how students do on the pretest, there's certain skills that the test will show that they've already mastered. So then the system will automatically say you don't have to do this. You don't have to work more on this skill because you've already mastered it and learned it. So the course is actually tailored and constructed based on what students have and have not mastered. So one student that takes it may have already tested out of 50% of it, and another student may have only tested out of 25%. But they do split the courses into two different parts, and students have to work through the first part. And as they're working through the first part, before they can move on to the second part, they have to have achieved 90% mastery. And it walks them through and has them continue to learn and go through additional mini assessments. And the teachers that are facilitating are able to check in at least a weekly basis to see how the students may be doing and provide additional possible tutorials or support if the students are needing that individual support. But the program has great features in it itself.
So you said there's two parts in each subject?
Yes, there's two parts for each subject. Two big blocks of parts, I should say, right? And there's little mini components with each different topics.
So clarify what you indicated earlier about we have part of this in place. Is that what I heard, or part of this the subject matter is part of the curriculum now? Is that incorrect?
Great. So the college preparatory math, preparatory English courses. Is that what you're referring to? Yes. So those two courses were created, I believe, by House Bill 5, that we were able to offer courses in partnership with a local community college. The community college really determines what the scope and sequence is for those courses, and we already have a partnership with Brazos Ford College that allows us to teach those on our campuses, and will allow this Texas College Bridge to be part of that curriculum. Those courses take a year long. They're on the schedule. The teachers follow the curriculum that's provided by the college, the scope and sequence that's provided by the college for both English and then for math. So students have an opportunity to take a course that's similar to this. It's facilitated by a teacher. But this opportunity, one of the ways that we hope to use this opportunity is that it's more self-paced.
So is there a credit from the English
It's 2 separate full credits.
You indicated that, well, clarify something for me on the SAT and the TSI. I'm not sure that if you take the SAT, which I said, no requirements for some colleges now, but do you not have to take the TSI? Is there a certain level that you have to reach not to have to take that?
Yes, so you can, honestly, a student can choose, if you're trying to go to grad school or college, for instance, a student can choose multiple avenues to meet what is called the TSI requirements to get in. So one option is the state test, which is the TSI. So there's a math component and there's an English component to the TSI. Then the state also has established different thresholds that you can score on the SAT. If you scored a certain threshold on math or ELA, you meet those requirements. You can take the ACT, and if you've met certain thresholds on the ACT, you've met those requirements. And then for those universities or colleges and districts that are partnering, you can take college prep math or college prep English and have met those requirements. So there's the testing requirements, there's multiple ways to fulfill those. And this would provide us an additional avenue in addition to most of our students, many of our students are able to achieve it through the SAT test that we provide for them.
The STAR test also has a waiver for use as well.
Yes, the STAR test, however, is only for dual credit students. If you meet the TSI waiver by STAR, you have to. If you're going to continue at a post-secondary institution after graduation, STAR doesn't cut it anymore. You have to have passed the TSI, SAT, or ACT.
So when do you normally take the TSI when the students take it?
So honestly, students can take the TSI at any point in time. All of our campuses right now offer it. So if you're going to be a sophomore, for instance, and you're going to take a humanities course out at Preparatory College, you're going to have passed the English component of TSI before you can take that humanities course. So in some cases, that means a freshman or a sophomore won't have taken the SAT yet. They may not have taken the STAR test that they need to meet the dual credit requirements. So they may end up taking the TSI test so that they can do that. And Preparatory College provides it free of charge for students if they want to take it there. And now all of our campuses are able to provide that. All of our high school campuses are able to provide that as well.
And you indicated that you didn't think that many would be the goal to start with. Is that for a trial or just to see how it goes? Or?
So, right. I suppose there's not a high number of students that have an immediate need to take this course on demand. There is a need to take the course for several students on demand, and some students may choose to take it that way. But we're able to work with many students to take the TSI because you can take the TSI fairly often. To get there, some students prefer. We have students of all types, right? Some students are great test takers, and other students, hey, I want to work at my own pace. I'd rather do the work to demonstrate than have to sit in a high-pressure environment where I'm taking a test. So it may be that some students choose to opt into this. We have several students that take the college prep courses at the high schools as well because they know, hey, I can do this. I don't have to worry about the TSI. I can get it done, and then I can go on to rest or college or another college that might accept the college pressure course. Yes, absolutely. So there is a dashboard for the teachers. The teachers kind of go through a training on how to use this, and it actually will show the teachers not only that the student may not be doing as well as we would hope, but it will actually show the teachers the specific skills and areas that the student's struggling with in order to be able to move forward. So it's very detailed for the teacher, and there are also within the program, there's a lot of support for the student as well. So it's an amazing tool for the teachers to be able to see and support where the students are, and they're able to see that almost in real time as the students things on our campuses is we have many teachers that work on non-traditional credit or ingenuity courses for students that may be working through credit recovery. And many of those teachers are already math or English certified, so we would actually be able to utilize them. They're used to working with students on an on-demand program. They're used to providing tutoring if they need to, so it may not necessarily be utilizing additional staff, but utilizing the staff that we already have in place.
Any other questions from the board? Mr. Reinhardt?
I'll say this. I'll say this, like, our kids are still in that learning gap. It's not, maybe not a great number, but there's still some in that learning gap. And this is another opportunity for them to seek remediation, especially in English and mathematics. So when it comes time to come out of those ways, those presentations are great.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? From the public? Any comments from the public? All right, then, Mr. Reinhardt has moved to accept it. Do I have a second? Say seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by nay. All right, that carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Cole. Thank you. Next item that we have on our action item list is action 7.2, extension of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act employee leave benefits. Ms. Kelly.
Good evening. In accordance with board policy, DEC, and the District Goal 5, BISD will recruit, develop, and retain highly effective staff. It is my pleasure to present administration's recommendation for the continuation of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, or FFCRA, for our employee leave benefits. Under FFCRA, certain employers, including Brazosport ISD, were required to provide employees with paid sick leave or expanded family and medical leave for specified reasons related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Act expired on December 31st of 2020. Employers have the option to extend the provisions previously required by the Act. It is in the best interest of Brazosport ISD to continue leave benefits for our employees who may be exposed or experiencing symptoms and or those that actually contract the virus. The continuation of the employee leave benefits will be for employees who, 1, have been in contact with an individual that tested positive for COVID-19 and must quarantine per federal, state, or local quarantine or isolation order. 2, display symptoms of COVID-19. 3, have tested positive for COVID-19. Or 4, must stay home with a child who has been exposed or tested positive for COVID-19. The additional leave will be for a maximum duration of 10 business days at the employee's daily rate of pay. The recommended local extension will expire June 30th, 2021, and is only available for those employees who have not previously used paid sick leave under the emergency paid sick leave provisions of FFCRA. It is the administration's recommendation that the Board of Trustees approve the continuation of FFCRA for employee leave benefits as presented. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Any questions from the board? So just for clarification, this is an additional 10 days before they would have to use their own personal things.
Correct.
Only if they have previously.
It's additional 10 days to what is currently approved under local policy.
Any questions from the audience? All right, hearing none then, do I have a motion to approve? Have a motion to approve? Moved by Jerry, second by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by nay. That carries unanimously as well. Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Next item that we have on our agenda under action items is action 7.3, the early resignation notification incentive. Ms. Rebecca again.
The following is also in accordance with board policy DEC, and it's my pleasure to present administration's recommendation to offer an early resignation notification incentive. An early resignation reservation notification incentive will assist administration in obtaining an accurate 21-22 staffing forecast prior to the end of the current 2021 school year. Efforts to seek voluntary reductions will allow Reservation ISD the opportunity to assess personnel needs, employee assignments, and the related budgetary impact for the 21-22 school year. Approximately 86% of our budget is in personnel cost. The incentive amount will be $500 for any professional contract employee currently employed on a full-time basis and who voluntarily resigns at the end of their 2021 contract year. Notification must be received in writing to the Human Resource Department after January 26th of 21 and no later than March 15th of 21 at 12 p.m. The payment will be included in the employee's April paycheck. At this time, administration recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the early resignation incentive as presented. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? I got one question. Yes, sir.
Our board book, it says they'll maintain his or her employment and complete his or her assignment work schedule through the date of resignation. That date of resignation will be the end of the school year?
Correct. Through the end of their current contract year, they have to complete it.
I'm just skipping now.
Well, I kind of weird. I was making sure date of resignation wasn't.
Yeah, we don't need to leave now.
I can resign now, 15th.
Ms. Patty, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. Before we get there, are there any comments from the audience? Yes, sir.
So if they do sign up for this, is it a binding? Is there any way for them to?
Do they change their mind?
Change their mind?
Once the superintendent signs off on their resignation, it becomes final.
Any other from the board? The audience? Ms. Patty has moved to accept the recommendation from the administration. Second by Ms. Cuellar. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by nay. That also carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Next item that we have, that's all our action items. Next item that we have on our agenda is the reports. Public comments will be allowed in each report as well. Report number one on planning and construction bid. Mr. Dornay.
Good evening. The following is in accordance with board policy CP local. It is my pleasure to present the planning and construction 2014-2019 bond project update. 2014 bond projects are 83.10% completed, and 2019 bond projects are 56.86% completed or in progress. The 2014 and 2019 bond construction project timelines are presented here. These projects represent current construction projects and future projects that are now in design phases. Brazos TTE building continues to move along very, very well. This is an overhead aerial view that was taken last week. This is a view from the roof of the main campus, looking over towards the front entry of the CTE. This is down on the ground looking at the main entry of the building. This is the view on the west side, where you're looking from the ninth grade center towards the CTE building. And this is a rear view of the school where all the welding labs and such work on their outdoor projects as well as their deliveries. This is the interior view standing at the top of the stairs looking down into the main area. Over to the right is where the culinary lab and the bistro is. This is a view in the culinary lab. You can see that the refrigerator and freezers are in place. And this is a view in the cafe bistro. I wanted to include this picture to give you an example of some of the finishes that are installed is the advanced welding lab. You can see the ventilation system for the welding machines is going in. This is the ag mechanic shop. They'll look much different once all the equipment gets in place. You can actually see what they are. This is looking up towards the main staircase. At the top of the staircase, or on the first landing, is the window looking down into the welding shop. Upstairs on the second floor is the floral lab. This is inside the lab where the cooler is for their flowers. And this next picture is in the corridor on the other side of that cooler where you can actually walk down the corridor and see what they have on display. This is the second floor group restrooms. This tile is the same that's over in the field house. We're trying to carry over all the colors for all of these projects. This is in the second floor corridor, and you can see the wall tile that is going up on both sides. This is the health science lab. And this is the aerial view of the main campus. You can really tell what this thing's going to look like once it's complete. It is crammed in there. I don't know how else to put it, but it's coming along very well. This is another view looking from the other direction. This is the front entry of the new campus. This is taken from the science lab on the second floor, looking over towards the main entry. So it's kind of a outdoor commons area right in between those two. This is looking at the aqua science on the first floor and the library on the second and third floor. That's another view of the library looking down towards the field house. This is a view of the three-story classroom wing, and it wraps around the two-story wing on the existing campus. This is a view looking towards the auditorium. That is the last section of steel that was being put up. It's starting to take shape, and you can really tell what it's going to look like. This is looking east towards the field house, if you will, and that's actually the dining commons area, and the classrooms are on the left, and the kitchen is on the right. The kitchen and the serving lines are on the right. This is standing in the lobby of the auditorium, looking towards the auditorium itself. Rest with Phase 4 athletic improvements. Baseball improvements include the crest box replacement, structure to cover the bleachers, and the addition of sub-varsity locker room. We have already completed the outfield fence and scoreboard replacement. Softball improvements include additional restrooms, concessions and storage, replacement of the press box, bleacher expansion, and a structure to cover the bleachers and existing batting cage area. The outfield fence will be replaced to look like a smaller version of the baseball field fence. We have already completed the replacement of the scoreboard. This is a rendering of the new tennis court field house and storage. Also included in Phase 4 is the demolition of the small driveway that goes up to the back of the Slade Field home stands, which will make room for an additional soccer practice field, as well as addition of shot put and discus area. The current Brunswick CTE building will be renovated to house the district technology, district police department dispatch, centralized receiving warehouse operations, and the district's instructional materials. Summer 21 renovations. At Freeport Intermediate School, We have significant athletic improvements as well as satellite bus parking. The football field improvements include a new 6-lane running track, new scoreboard, new football goalpost, new athletic field lighting, new athletic field sound system, long jump, high jump, and pole vault. There will be new restrooms and equipment storage. We will demo the existing water tank that is not used that's behind the school, including sidewalks and bleachers, booster stand and restrooms, and new bleachers and press box. Bleachers will be relocated from the Rising Split High School gym. Also at Freeport Intermediate is the satellite bus parking, and it will include parking for 25 buses as well as staff parking, and in the future we will be relocating the existing transportation office modular building over to that location. Also at Freeport Intermediate includes some interior renovations, including some upgrades to the cafeteria HVAC system and acoustical pads in the gymnasiums. Over at Cleveland Intermediate, we've got a new stacking lane that will be installed to alleviate some of the major traffic problems we have over at that campus. Additional lighting around the campus, and we will be demolishing the existing shop building, which is behind the old gym. And then some minor changes to the interior of the building, including new stage curtain. Lake Jackson Intermediate has some minor changes, renovations to the interior of the building, including the computer labs reconfiguring to layout to make it more functional. Also, we have some additional security lighting and exterior regrading in the front of the building, as well as doing some repairs on some of the concrete columns. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions from the board? Final presentation.
People in gyms, how are they, situation with water there?
They are, they removed all the flooring in the one gym and had the concrete drive. We're waiting on Lost to, they're prepared. We just want to make sure we have all the areas covered and the concrete dried out properly.
Any more questions from the board?
Is the cover at Wilson Field going to help bottom sound to the umpires?
I cannot possibly promise that.
Do we have any questions from the audience? Here, now this is a report.
Sort of our board member.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, appreciate you. Next item under reports is board committee reports. We have board committee reports from our board members. Jerry, I think it's been most of this. All right, let's move on. Next item on our agenda is work session discussion. Our next regular scheduled board meeting will be February 15th. Don't forget Valentine's Day. Executive session is next. It may be called for purposes permitted by the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.001 through 551.146, and Sections 551.071, consultation with attorney, Sections 551.074, personnel matters, appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, dismissal, policy BFFB local for the campuses and departments at the Brazos Success Academy, Lighthouse Learning Center, Elizabeth May, Human Resources and Language Acquisition, effective at the end of 2020-2021 contract year school year. Ms. Rebecca Kelly.
Thank you. At this time, administration recommends that the Board of Trustees declare a program change and implementation of the reduction in force policy, BFFB local, for the campuses and departments as presented for the Brazos Success Academy, Lighthouse Learning Center, Elizabeth May, Human Resources and Language Acquisition, effective at the end of the 2021 contract year and school year.
It's been moved by Scott, and there was a second. Second by Ms. Patty Say. Before we vote, we have to ask if we have any comments from the public before we vote. All right, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by nay. All right, that carries unanimously as well. Thank you, Mr. Becker. The next item we have under action items 13.2, the proposed non-renewal of the employment contracts of the assistant principals at the Brazos Success Academy, Lighthouse Learning Center, and Elizabeth May Elementary in related actions. Ms. Kelly.
At this time, administration recommends that the Board of Trustees take action to propose non-renewal of the assistant principal's employment contracts at the Brazos Success Academy, the Lighthouse Learning Center, and Elizabeth May Elementary, and the related actions, including the authorization of the superintendent or designee to provide notice of the board's action.
Again, do we have any questions from the comments from the public? All right, hearing none, then do I have a motion? Been moved by Ms. Patty Says, and then do I have a second? Second by Mr. Dunn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by nay. That also carries unanimously. Thank you. Next item that we have is action item 13.3 to consider approval of the sale of 0.63 acres of surplus property located at near the intersection State Highway 288 and Dixie Drive in Texas pursuant to bid number 2021.05. Ms. Kelly.
Administration recommends that the board approve the sale of the 0.63 acres of surplus property located near the intersection of State Highway 288 and Dixie Drive in Clute, Texas, pursuant to bid number 2021.05 and the adoption of the associated resolution.
Do you have any comments from the public? All right, do I have a motion to approve? It's been moved by Jerry and seconded by Mr. Schwartner. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed by nay. That also carries. Next item that we have is action item 13.4, consider approval of the sale of 15 acres of surplus property located at State Highway 288 near the Northwood subdivision in Lake Jackson, Texas, pursuant to bid number 2021.06.
At this time, administration recommends that the board approve the sale of 15 acres of surplus property located at State Highway 288 near the Northwood subdivision in Lake Jackson, Texas, pursuant to bid number 2021.06 and the adoption of the associated resolution.
All right. Any comments? Public? All right, do I hear a motion to approve the recommendation from the administration?
I'll make a motion to give this notice for declare for open
It's been moved by Mr. Reinhardt and seconded by Mr. Schwartner. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by nay. That carries as well. Thank you, Ms. Kelly.
Thank you.
Next item that we have on our agenda is executive session. It may be called for the purposes permitted by the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.001 through 551.146, Section 551.071, consultation with attorneys, Section 551.074, personnel matters, appointment, employment evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, dismissal, and complaint.